Do we sell him or not? That is the question. Listen, I love the guy in real life, but for that sort of money, I think we're going to have to.
So guys, welcome back to another episode of the Preston North End career mode. It was a pretty successful one last time round, albeit we did get beat 4-1 by Coventry, but we managed to salvage things. In today's episode, we've got quite a big one coming up actually. We've got league games against both Huddersfield and Derby, cup game against Wigan. It's going to be transfer deadline as well, so we're going to have to get quite a few deals done in today's episode. Looking into our budget at the moment, this is what we've got to spend. Now I did realise that we've actually got this tilted really heavily towards the wage budget, so if we do move it a little bit across, we've actually still got a fair bit to spend. Thank you, by the way, for all your guys' suggestions. They were really helpful in seeking out the players that we are after. So a sub-goalkeeper is someone that we're after to sort of push Declan Rudd and maybe be our long-term goalkeeper moving forward. One that I thought of and that I really like is Bradley Collins from Barnsley, but he may be a little bit expensive. We're going to go in for him and see how much Barnsley are asking for, but it may just be a bit too much. I do also think that we are in need of shipping a couple of players away, so we'll once again try and see if anyone's interested in Billy Bowden or not. It seems like they want Ryan Ledson instead, so they rate Bradley Collins at around about £2 million by that, but we're not getting rid of Ledson. He's the future in here. Could we maybe exchange another player? Louis Moult, perhaps? Are they interested in him? So they don't want Louis Moult, but they do want 1.9 million, which I just feels too much for a backup goalkeeper. Long term, Bradley Collins could be a really good one for us, but I can't be justifying spending that much on him. Jaden Stockley, maybe? Do you want him? Okay, they're going to take some time to think about that one. They're probably going to turn it down. Now, I am also after another backup striker. The two which have caught my eye the most are probably Adam Eder from Norwich City, brilliant youngster, done really well in the Championship so far this season, got a couple of goals and a few assists as well, and also Keenan Davis from Aston Villa, a player who we were linked to in real life. They're both 6'3", so if we do go ahead and get one of these, then Jaden Stockley we can probably see about letting go. We'll go in for Keenan Davis first and look how much Villa are wanting for him. Once again, we'll do the classic player swap. Does anyone want Billy Bowden? That's the real question. Nobody want around £2 million for Keenan Davis, which I think is understandable. We want a 17% sell-on clause as well. We're going to counter this though. We want to be a little bit stingy. You know, we've got Trevor Hemmings behind us telling us not to spend too much of the transfer budget. We'll see what they say to around 1.4 million because we still want to leave enough in the bank so that we can sign a couple of other players. So they're going to take some time to think about that one as well. And Ghent have come in for an offer for Billy Bowden. They've offered 1.3, which is his valuation. I'm just going to go ahead and accept that. I'd be happy to get 1.3 for Bowden. So while we wait for those transfers to get back to us, let's head into our first game of the episode up against Huddersfield, who haven't started out the season too well. They're 22nd in the league at the moment. So for Huddersfield, this is the team I'm going to go for. I have had to switch it around a little bit purely due to fitness, really. As we can see, we've got quite a few players struggling for it. DJ, really, we can't be playing him on that amount of stamina. Same for Cunningham as well. So I've switched around the two fullbacks. Patrick Bauer is coming back into the team. He needs to have a good one after his last showing against Coventry. I've also switched up the formation as well. I do prefer playing with the diamond, but because we've got a real lack of midfielders that are match fit for this game, we're going to go for sort of that midfield holding two of Piero and Brown with Harrop playing in front. I do feel as if this game against Huddersfield is going to be an interesting test for us. We did win this game in real life away from home 2-1, but Huddersfield definitely made us work for it under Carlos Corberán. They like to keep the ball a lot more, so I'll be interested to see if they do something similar on this career mode. We've also had to switch the team around, and we are playing what is a pretty weakened 11, you have to say. You know, I'm interested to see how our two fullbacks get on, Joe Rafferty and Josh Earl as well for his first league minutes of the season. But the team's no doubt good enough to win this one, but let's see how we get on. I think this is a big game for Maguire up front as well. He's been a little bit hit and miss for me so far. He's missed some quite easy chances, but he's done well to set up some other ones. Alex Pritchard looking to pull the string to them in that number 10 role. Pearson's going to have to be on top of him, but Huddersfield get a chance and they punish us and put it into the back of the net. I think that's Fraser Campbell who's just scored, isn't it? He did score against us, yeah it is. He did score against us in real life as well to take the lead, and it's not the greatest of starts. I've also just realised that they also still have Colin Grant on this save as well, so this game just got a lot tougher. We were pulled out of position here, Davis was pulled out, left Bauer exposed, Rudd can't quite get there. It's another slow start. I'm not going to lie to you, defending on this game I am pretty atrocious, but we'll work on our strengths, and that is scoring goals. So we're just going to have to try and just outscore every opposition this season. That's the sort of football that we're going to have to be playing. Big game for Harrop as well in that number 10 position today. He's got Jonathan Hogg marking him, obviously a veteran at this sort of level, but we'll spread the ball out here to Josh Sims. Sims, if he can get Rafferty on the overlap, he does find Rafferty. If he can cut back perhaps for Maguire. Oh, and he finds it into the back of the net. That was such a weird goal, but we'll take it. We were just talking about Maguire then, how he needs to have a big game, but nice finish from him and an assist as well from Joe Rafferty, who's stepping in for Darnell Fisher today. Nice bit of play from us down that right-hand side. Nice little bit of link up there between Sims and Rafferty, and the defence just sort of went walkabout, and it was a nice finish in the end. This team can score goals. I'm not too worried about us going forward, but defensively is a bit of an issue. We may need to look into signing another defender before deadline day, because we cannot defend at the moment. To get a counter-attack going, here's Harrop, spreads that ball nicely out wide to Josh Sims, who's got space to run into. Sims will look to cut inside. He's up against Harry Toffolo. Good fullback at this level. Sims will look to cross low into Maguire. Oh, but the keeper makes a very good save this time round. It was nearly a repeat of what happened last time. Sims tries to get into the far post. Good save from the keeper. There's Brown. If he can spot that ball over to Maguire, that could be an absolute worldie of a ball if he's onside, which he is. Maguire finishes it for 2-1. What a ball that was. Over the top. Great vision from Alan Brown. And Shawnee Maguire makes it 2. He's such a hit and miss striker, both kind of in real life and on this game so far. If you watched the last episode, he missed some absolute sitters for us, but clinical finishing so far. And this is a great pick out from Alan Brown. Over the top of that defence, they were playing quite a high line. Maguire does well to finish. I think that as you get so many games in the Championship as well, in career mode especially, the squad's going to be important to us. Like, we have made changes for this game, but the core group of players is still very much quite strong for it, so I think that will be handy as we progress through this. That could be a nice ball there. We're getting loads of space in behind. Sinclair, if he can chop inside, which he can, and finish, and finds the far post for 3-1, and we are running away with this now. After a good start from Huddersfield, Scott Sinclair bagged another one for the series. It's a great ball from Sims out wide. Sinclair absolutely sells his man, and then with a finesse shot into the far post. And there we have it, guys. 3-1 in the first game of today's episode. Literally nothing happened in that second half, but a good way to start out against a pretty decent Huddersfield side. We'll definitely take that from coming from behind. So both Barnsley and Villa have now got back towards. Barnsley still wanting 2 million for Bradley Collins. I love the goalkeeper, but I'm going to have to reject that. I just can't justify spending, £2 million on a backup goalkeeper. Villa, on the other hand, wanting 1.7 for Keenan Davis. We're going to go in and negotiate this again, because I don't feel like we're all too far off on this deal. If we could maybe get it more down towards that sort of 1.4 figure, it still leaves us with quite a bit in the bank. We'll meet halfway and go 1.5. I think that's a fair estimation for the player. So, okay, just over 1.5 with a 12% sell-on clause. I'm going to accept that. I quite like Keenan Davis as a player, and I think he is someone who we can scope into quite a good striker. I'm going to offer him as a rotation player. He's probably going to want to be a little bit more than that, so he wants to be an important first team. I'll accept that. He's going to be in and out of the squad throughout the season. We've got quite a few options going forward now. Then for wages, he's looking for just shy of 10 grand, which I think is reasonable. We'll go ahead and accept that. I'm pretty happy with that deal. So Keenan Davis, I am going to make our new number 9 moving forward. Louis Moll, I love the guy, but we have gone ahead and put him on the transfer list. He's just not going to get much game time with the other options we've got in this squad at the moment. For a backup goalkeeper, I'm tempted to look if there are any transfer listed ones in the Premier League at the moment. We'll take a look. So we've got 3. Fraser Forster's probably going to be out of our wage bracket. Jason Steele, all I remember about Jason Steele is if you watch the Sunderland Till I Die documentary, he didn't have the greatest of years there, but he's been alright at Brighton, to be fair to him. That's going to be our last sort of ditch alternative. If we don't get anyone over the line, we'll go towards Jason Steele. I also wouldn't mind another centre half as well, and someone did suggest Nathan Wood last time. 18 years old, I think has got quite a bit of potential on this game, and as sort of that long-term alternative to Patrick Bauer, who, let's be real, he's not getting much faster on this game, is he? So for Nathan Wood, we'll see if they're interested in any of our other players. I'll offer Louis Moll for this one, see if they're interested in taking him off our hands. So they are interested in Louis Moll. That deal suits both clubs, and I'm pretty happy with that. We get a really good up-and-coming centre-half. They get Louis Moll. We get a striker off the books, having recently brought another one in. He's probably going to be sort of a prospect or sporadic. We'll offer him as a prospect, and he's not probably probably going to get all too much game time right away. And then wages, we'll go ahead and offer him around sort of 3 grand, I think. I think that's probably fair for the sort of player he is at the moment. So he's happy with that. I'm pretty happy with signing him. So for the time being, we'll put him into our secondary squad. So we've got Wood alongside Jordan Story there, our 2 sort of young and upcoming centre-halves who I think could be quite a good partnership moving forward. And Billy Bowden has now been sold as well, so we're going to get a bit more money added to the transfer fund as well, which I think is quite nice. And we do now have a Carabao Cup game coming up against Wigan away from home. We are going to be going with our secondary team for this. This is the lineup we're going to be going with. So Keenan Davis and Wood is going to get his debut. Also Nelson in midfield as well, our youth prospect at the moment. Joe Garner going up against his former club in this one. I don't think anyone's really too bothered about the Carabao Cup, are they? Both in career mode and in real life. So we have actually been defeated in this one, which isn't really the end of the world. And we have just had a transfer offer here for Patrick Bauer. Now, hear me out, guys. Patrick Bauer, absolutely love the guy in real life. He's brilliant. We brought him in on a free from Charlton, and last season especially formed a brilliant partnership with Ben Davis. But this is FIFA, and the guy has 32 pace. We saw the game last episode where he got ripped apart by Bakayoko at Coventry for 3 million. I feel like I could invest that in someone else. We've also had the transfer offer for Darnell Fisher as well, but we're just going to go ahead and reject that. I'm not interested in selling him. He's been really good as a fullback for us so far. But Bauer, I'm going to think of it. I'm going to negotiate it. They're offering 3.1 at the moment. Realistically, if we could get anywhere near 4, then it's a no-brainer for me. So they are happy with £4 million. I can't turn that sort of money down. We could get such an improvement on Bauer, I think, for around 4 million. Before we do that, though, let's go into our next game up against Derby County away. After this, we got the transfer deadline day. So as Patrick Bauer is potentially off, we're not going to include him in the matchday 11 for this one. We're going to go back to this diamond system as DJ is back to full fitness, and I think that this is probably the strongest team we can field at the moment. Keenan Davis probably going to get off the bench, but we're going to start with the forward 2 of Emile Reese and Scott Sinclair. Let's go. Here we go then, up against Wayne Rooney's Derby County. Now, we did play Derby in real life in the Cup, and we did win that one by 2-1, but since Preston have been promoted back up to the Championship, Derby have always been a bit of a bogey side for us. We never seem to be able to beat them in league football, so this is going to be a tough one for us here today, but the away kit's looking nice again. Let's see what we can do. It'll be an interesting test for us here. Derby, a lot of their danger man coming from wide areas. I think they're starting this one with Tom Lawrence and Jordan Ibe out wide, obviously with how much our fullbacks like to bomb on in this formation as well. We're going to have to be wary of their attacking threats as they get forward here with Holmes, who's absolutely rinsed his way past Pearson, and oh, he squares it to Rooney and makes it 1-0. We cannot defend for the first 10 minutes of games, can we? It's Rooney with the opening goal for Derby. We got some work to do. Derby just building up the attack here with Christian Bielik, who may race through on goal himself if we're not careful here. Bielik, Rudd's going to have to come out, and Bielik makes it 2-0. How? I didn't know Bielik had that sort of pace in him. Jesus, he raced away from us there. There's just gaps in our back line, like we all got pulled over to one side. Davis was nowhere to be seen. Bielik finishes it well. More than anything, this probably goes to show that we are in need, actually, of another defender in this squad. So, to be honest, I think it may turn out to be the right sort of deal that we're making here. Derby have looked dangerous every time they've come forward so far, and it's a very high line we're playing here. Davis is taking down his man. This could be bad news. It's only a yellow card. I was a little bit worried there. You've seen referees give red cards for that sort of challenge before. It was sort of last man, nowhere near the ball. We get a bit lucky there. We haven't really been able to sort of settle into the game as of yet. But that's a great ball out wide to Cunningham, who's our outlet on this left-hand side. Cunningham finds DJ in a bit of space. DJ, if he can find the runner of Sims, which he can. Sims shoots. Saved by the keeper. Oh, and he can't follow in the rebound. Derby looking very dangerous whenever they do go forward. Here's Jack Marriott, squares it to Rooney, who makes it 3-0 for Derby. We've been trying to get back into this game. We've been pressing forward a little bit more, but like I say, whenever Derby go forward, it feels like they're going to score. It's a nice finish once again from Rooney, but poor defending. This highlights our need for another defender. Here's a nice bit of play though. If Brown can get a shot away here from this tight angle, it's a good save by Marshall. This is better from us if we can get an attack forming here. Cunningham down this right hand side once again. Cunningham going to take it to the byline, cut it back for Emile Reese this time, who does get on the end of it to make it 3-1. Bit more respectable. 10 minutes to go. Could maybe get back into this. Let's see. Can we get another one back before it's full time? That could be a nice ball into Emile Reese there. Emile Reese, who's racing through. Can he keep his composure? Oh, Marshall saves, but we do make it 3-2. Body's offside. Oh, thought we'd made it 3-2, and this could have been the greatest comeback of all time, but he is offside. And there we have it, Derby 3-1 full time. They were the better side going forward in this one. Defensively, we were a little bit all over the shop and just couldn't take our chances. And so, as you can see on screen now, guys, Patrick Bauer has departed, sold for 4 million. The board's given us 2.8 million of that to go ahead and spend on his replacement. So let's have a look at some of the alternatives. So thinking centre halves, I want to keep it fairly championship based and grounded in realism as well. So Chris Mentham was one that was suggested last video, probably going to be one of the more expensive ones on this list, but only 22 years old is a good option. Dale Fry, I'd love to go in for, obviously another Borough defender on top of Wood, who we've just recently got as well, but it says there this team will not sell the player as he's too important for the club, so that's one that we're not going to be getting for the time being. Dominic Iorfa, I've been complaining about pace at the back. If we want a bit of pace in that back line, Dominic Iorfa could be that man. He's absolutely rapid in game. We then got Joe Worrell from Nottingham Forest, Cameron Cotter-Vickers from Spurs, and Axel Twanzebe from Man United as well. Do you know what? We've already invested in youth. We need a defender who's going to be good right now, and Dominic Iorfa stands at 6'4", got a real turn of pace about him. I think this is the man we go for. It's also worth remembering as well that Sheffield Wednesday are currently top of the league in this save, so to try and weaken them as much as possible could play into our advantage in the long run. We'll start out with a bit of around £2 million. I think that's probably fair for the sort of player that Iorfa is. Let's see what Wednesday is saying. So they're actually after Ryan Ledson, another club who wants him. I can't be going ahead and selling Ryan Ledson. Do they want... I'm trying to think if there's anyone else that I could sell on top of that. Jaden Stockley's one potential one. After bringing in Keaton Davis, he's probably not got much of a role here. So I could offer Jaden Stockley, propose new transfer fee. We'll bump that down to about, let's say, $500,000 and see what they say to that. They're probably not going to go for that. But, okay, so they don't want Jaden Stockley, not too surprising. But they want 2.8 million for the player. So I wasn't too far away on my original estimation. Let's try and get that a bit closer to the 2 million mark. And I'd be quite happy to pay for that for a player of Dominic Iorfa's talent. So they're sticking to their 2.8. We'll go up a little bit to 2.26 and see what they say to that. So they are saying yes to that. I think we've got a really good deal on our hands there. Obviously, we've got quite a bit of business to do on transfer deadline day, but Dominic Iorfa for that sort of price, I'm happy with. It's also a highlight of the player as well that he can also play as a fullback. We all know how important it is to our system that we're playing at the moment that our fullbacks get forward. So Dominic Iorfa, if Darnell Fisher gets injured or something like that, I think could be a pretty good option for us. Salary, I'm going to go ahead and offer him 8 grand and that cheeky 50k signing bonus as well. We'll see what he says to that. So he wants a little bit more, 9 grand. I'm happy to pay that sort of money for him. So Dominic Iorfa is now a Preston player and is that replacement that we've been looking for Patrick Bauer. So for the time being, he's going to slot in alongside Ben Davis at centre half. Look at that, he's got 83 pace. We should be a lot tighter at the back with that. Now the last position to really look into for us is that backup goalkeeper, and Alex Bass has probably been the one that's caught my eye the most. Portsmouth at a good age as well, so can grow and be that long-term successor for Declan Rudd. We're going to go in for this one and see what Portsmouth are saying in terms of a transfer fee. Do they want David Nugent? Obviously did used to play for Portsmouth. We'll offer them a little bit of money on top of that as well. We'll offer them 580k plus David Nugent. See if they're tempted by that at all. Okay, so they're not. So they want 1.8 million. We can't, once again, I don't want to spend that much money on the backup goalkeeper. I'll spend 1.1 million because realistically he's probably going to be the long-term successor to Declan Rudd, like I say. So I'm happy to spend a little bit of money on him, but we'll go to 1.3 million, see if they're tempted by that. Okay, so they'll need a little bit of time on this. Obviously it is deadline day, so they don't have too much time to think about this one, but let's see what they come back with. I think overall it would be a fairly successful transfer window if we get a sub-goalie over the line as well. So they're still sticking to that 1.8 estimation of the player. We'll negotiate once again. Propose new transfer fee. We'll go down to 1.5 million for the player. And okay, so they are happy with that plus an 8% sell-on clause. We'll go ahead and accept that. I'm more than happy to get this deal over the line. So he's happy to be a rotation player for the time being. I'm going to go ahead and accept that. That's the role he's going to play. Number 2 behind Declan Rudd for the time being. But if we do train him up, could become something quite special for us. I'll go ahead and offer him 5 grand and that 50 grand bonus once again to try and swing him. And that's a reasonable offer, so he's happy with that. And I think that pretty much concludes our business for deadline day, you know. We'll go ahead and simulate through the rest of it. As long as no one else comes in for any of our players, I think I'm fairly happy with this transfer window. So there we have it, guys. Transfer deadline day has now concluded, and like I say, I'm happy with my business, but I have seen we've got a training injury pop up here. So Alan Brown is going to be out for 3 months. You're joking me. Oh, just as the transfer window shut, we've got some devastating injury news there. 3 months, what are we going to do without him? I mean, we may need to look into recalling Tom Bayliss. I mean, realistically, Alan Brown was like an integral part of this sort of diamond system. What we'll do for the time being, though, we are training Brad Potts as a central midfielder. He's going to have to come in as the replacement in the time being, and then we'll put Ledson onto the bench as well. That's a big blow for us. But to round off today's video, let's look at all the completed deals that we've got done in this transfer window. So overall, what would you rate this out of 10, guys? We are obviously going for promotion this year. We want to be in the top 6. Do these signings give us the chance to do that? I think they do. I think we brought in a good youthful group of players with that bit of experience there from Greg Cunningham. So the players we signed, Greg Cunningham came over from Cardiff. We got Josh Sims from Southampton for 2.4 million. Keenan Davis from Aston Villa. Nathan Wood from Middlesbrough, Dominic Iorfa from Sheffield Wednesday, and Alex Bass from Portsmouth. Let me know in the comments down below, who do you think out of these guys will turn out to be the best signing in this career mode? For me, I'm going to put a shout in for Josh Sims, although Keenan Davis I think could become very good for us. But guys, thanks for watching. That will now wrap it up for today's video. So if you did go on to enjoy, please continue to show the support and leave a like on the video. Also, if you are new around here, make sure to drop a subscribe and stick around for some regular career mode and championship content. But apart from that, thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.